Recently, what we are able to see around the world is that the pro-Khalistan movement is again on a rise, and the pro-Khalistan movement has again re-emerged. So why is it so that the Sikhs around the world have again started to ask for a separate state for the Sikh people, that is the Khalistan state? Hello and welcome to the Infocus series section of Drishti IAS. I am 𝐈𝐀𝐒 Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about the vandalism by the pro-Khalistan protesters at Indian High Commission in London. So recently a very sad incident has happened at the Indian High Commission in London, where the pro-Khalistan people and the pro-Khalistan followers was seen taking down the Indian flag and was trying to raise the Khalistan flag in the Indian High Commission at London. So let us first see the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at the news, that what has happened, what is the incident that took place, then the Vienna Convention, and this Vienna Convention is not the climate change one, this is related to the diplomats. Then about what is diplomatic immunity, then the obligations of a receiving state, then what did wrong UK do in this incident. In the end, a prelims MCQ. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is groupings and agreements involving India. From exam perspective, you should be able to know that what is Vienna Convention and what is it related to, and what is diplomatic immunity. So let's get started and see the news. And the news has been taken from the Indian Express, and it says vandalism by pro-Khalistan protesters at Indian High Commission in London. What is the Vienna Convention invoked by Ministry of External Affairs? Majorly what we will be focusing is the Vienna Convention. So the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961 is what we will be focusing on. And firstly we will be looking at that why this Vienna Convention came into news. So recently what has happened is a group of people chanting pro-Khalistan slogans took down the Indian flag at the High Commission in London. So we all know that every country has their embassies and high commissions in other countries, and those embassies and high commissions and the diplomats working there, they have a certain kind of protection associated with them, so that they are not at risk whenever they are working in some other country. Then the Indian government had summoned the senior most United Kingdom diplomat and deputy high commissioner, that how can this incident that the Indian flag taken down at the Indian High Commission in UK can take place, and when the United Kingdom security was there. Then the same day only, a group of pro-Khalistan protesters attacked and damaged the Indian consulate in San Francisco, US. So what is happening is the pro-Khalistan protesters, the people who are asking for a separate Sikh state, that is the state of Khalistan, they are protesting all over the world. In India they are protesting, then in UK we all know what happened is the Indian flag was taken by the pro-Khalistan followers. Then in San Francisco also the Indian consulate was attacked and damaged. So first look at this picture, and this is that picture which is going on social media, and you can also see it very openly. Then this is the Indian flag which was taken down by the Khalistan followers, and then when the Indian flag was taken down, there was people who came in the embassy and they stopped this incident to happen. Now what happened is, the question that arises is that where was the British security when the Indian flag was taken down? Then who should be held responsible for it? What is the diplomatic immunity that the people working in the Indian embassy or the Indian High Commission in UK was at risk? Then, and last one being that what is Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations? So first we will be looking into the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation. So Vienna Convention is a harmonization or formalization of the procedures of international diplomacy. So see, diplomacy takes place between countries. So if imagine this is first country and this is second country. So there are two countries. This is India and the second one being anyone, X Y, Z. So the diplomacy or the diplomatic relations which is going on between country 1 and country 2 is what the framework of these relations or the formalization of these relations, diplomatic relations between two countries is what the Vienna Convention has done. So the international diplomacy or the diplomatic relations between one country and two country, the formalization of this diplomatic relation is what has been done by the Vienna Convention. And what came into picture this time when this happened in the United Kingdom, when the Indian flag was taken down, and also what has happened in San Francisco, that the Indian consulate was attacked and damaged. So what was invoked was Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961. So this is the convention which was invoked. And so let us first look at that what is Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation 1961. So Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation came into force in the year 1964, and it is almost a universally ratified convention. Almost every country ratifies it except one or two. For example, South Sudan has not ratified this, and there is very little, I would say 3 to 4 more countries. And this also provides a complete framework for the establishment, maintenance and termination of diplomatic relations on a basis of consent between independent sovereign state. So the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relation is what looks into between two countries the establishment, maintenance and termination, that how the diplomatic relations between two countries would be established, then how the relationship between the two countries will be maintained over the years, and if then the relationship gets terminated or not, that is any of the country has committed a grave crime or something, that the termination needs to be done between the diplomacy or between the diplomatic relations between the two countries. Then the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations also codifies the long-standing custom of diplomatic immunity, and this term of diplomatic immunity very much remains in news. So we will be looking into that what does diplomatic immunity means. So the incident that has happened in the United Kingdom majorly has invoked which convention? It is Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961, and you should be able to know that it is almost a nearly universally ratified convention, and this talks about the establishment, maintenance and termination of the diplomatic relations between two countries, and the concept of diplomatic immunity comes under it. Now let us talk about that what is diplomatic immunity. So imagine that all the diplomats who would be working when the incident took place would be working inside the Indian High Commission or Indian Embassy. So what happens to those diplomats and what happens to the security of those diplomats? So that is where the diplomatic immunity, the term diplomatic immunity actually comes into play. So diplomatic immunity means the privilege of exemption from certain laws and taxes granted to diplomats by the country in which they are posted. So it means the incident which has taken place at present, the posted country or the posting country is the United Kingdom. So the country in which the diplomats are posted, that country provides certain kind of privileges and exemptions to these diplomats, so that these diplomats can work objectively and with transparency and without any fear, so that the diplomats can function without fear, threat or intimidation from the host country. Because if the diplomats would work under fear and would be intimidated by the host country, then the work of diplomat won't be objective and won't be transparent. Then the influence of the host country will always be there on the work of the diplomat, which the diplomat is doing on behalf of some other country whose diplomat is posted in the country. Then the concept of inviolability is a diplomatic mission. It means that the diplomat who is posted in some other country will be safe from all the things or from any kind of damages or from any kind of suspension, all these things, the diplomat would be safe. That means that the diplomat cannot be arrested or detained, and his house will have the same inviolability and protection as the embassy. So because the diplomats have all these kind of immunities, then only the diplomat is able to work with objectivity and transparency in some other country and is not pressurized by anyone. Because if the diplomats would be pressurized by the host country or some other people or some other external sources are very much getting overburdened on the diplomats, this would create the imbalance between the two countries and also their diplomatic relationship, and also between the bilateral relations that the two countries shares, because the bilateral relations and the diplomacy on the global stage majorly depends on the work of the diplomats. So the diplomatic immunity is of utmost importance for the diplomats. Then obligations of a receiving state. So what does the state which is on the receiving part or the state which is the host state, what are the obligations for them? So the receiving state refers to the host nation where a diplomatic mission is located, and in the present scenario the receiving state is the United Kingdom, where the incident of Indian flag has been taken down in the Indian High Commission in the UK. So this incident has taken place in the United Kingdom. So the receiving state is the United Kingdom. Then according to the Vienna Convention, it has some basic obligation towards the diplomatic missions it hosts on its sovereign territory. It means the host country has certain kind of obligations that they need to provide certain kind of security to the people of the embassy or of the High Commission, and also to the national flag of the other country. And because of this incident, the Indian embassy or the Indian Ministry of External Affairs have showed their displeasure and discontent towards the government of the United Kingdom. Article 22 of the convention, that is Vienna Convention, deals with the obligation with regards to the premises of the mission. Premises of the mission means the High Commission of the other country, or the in UK the High Commission of India or the Indian Embassy. That what are there needs to be a proper decorum and discipline that needs to be maintained in the embassy, and the responsibility for the security of that embassy or the High Commission rides or stays with the host country. Then the part 2 of this article states that the receiving state is under a special duty, that is, in this case the United Kingdom was under a special duty to take all appropriate steps to protect the premises of the mission against any intrusion or damage, to prevent any disturbance of the peace of the mission or impairment of its dignity. So this part 2 of the Vienna Convention actually tells us that when the host country is who should be held responsible and accountable for if anything gets wrong and if any kind of disturbance or damage has been done to the embassy or to the High Commission of the other country. So in the present case which has happened, then it should be the responsibility of the United Kingdoms, because the United Kingdom was the host country. Then the security of any High Commission or embassy is the responsibility of the host nation. If in layman's term I will say or would like to sum up this upper paragraph, then in 2 lines or in a single way I can say this, that the security of any High Commission or embassy is the responsibility of the host nation. So whatever happened in the High Commission of India or the Indian Embassy has to be the responsibility of the United Kingdoms. Then what wrong did UK do, or what United Kingdom did wrong that they could not stop what happened at the Indian Embassy or Indian High Commission? Then protesters were able to climb the walls of the High Commission premises indicates a breach. So imagine that if in our Indian High Commission the pro-Khalistan protesters were able to climb to the stage where they were able to take down the Indian flag, it means the security was not proper or the security was not alert. Because if the security has been proper and alert, then how can someone enter into the Indian High Commission or Indian Embassy. Then the Ministry of External Affairs India has said that India finds unacceptable the indifference of the UK government to the security of Indian diplomatic premises and personnel in the United Kingdom. So the Ministry of External Affairs have openly said and have openly shown their displeasure, to which the United Kingdom has replied that they also condemn the disgraceful acts against the people and premises of the High Commission of India, which is totally unacceptable. So even the United Kingdom's government have also accepted that yes, there was some mistake on their part. Now in the end, it's time for the prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And this says, consider the following statements. The concept of diplomatic immunity is codified under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Then the concept of inviolability of a diplomatic mission comes under the diplomatic immunity. You have to tell that which of the statements are incorrect. And the codes are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Mark the incorrect statements and give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.